One of the most exciting things going on in the environmental field is that as problems get more and more complex, there's increasing recognition that a diversity of epistemologies or ways of knowing are necessary to solve these complex problems. So we can't rely on a limited scope anymore. What's happened is different cultures support different epistemologies as more legitimate than others, and that's become problematic because there are some knowledge systems that don't have value in, I'll call it for the moment, Western culture. I've learned to recognize that when I tap into some of the more marginalized knowledge systems like intuition, like embodied knowing, like animist knowing, I'm much wiser. And the kinds of insights that I come to and the kind of decisions I make are often quite different than if I use my rational mind alone. That doesn't mean that rational analytic thought is not valuable, it's essential. And we need to put that knowledge system together with a more intuitive, more embodied, more connected way of knowing. Some of our greatest scientific inventions have been through those inspirations that, the scientist at that moment can't tell you where that insight came from. It just arrived. And then they have to go back and figure out, how do I explain and articulate this insight?
What thinking is to logic, feeling is to intuition and transrationality. Intuition means knowing without knowing how you know. And this is something a lot of people experience. Maybe they don't articulate it in that way. Maybe they explain it away using another rationale.
In our indigenous values kind of thing, the intuition works on everyday basis, right? We don't call it intuition, we call it being connected, being connected with the land, with the spirits, and with the creator. The way how we used to, especially shamans and great people, how they come to know, it's absolutely different.
I come to know by interacting firsthand with the landscape or being, and then afterwards I also do a lot of contemplation. So it's a combination of firsthand interaction and contemplation.
The ways that I come to know the world are very complex and interchangeable. I attribute a lot of it to the significant people that have come in and out of my life. The ways I've come to know have been constantly changing, evolving. It's like you open one door and there's a whole bunch of other doors that have yet to be explored.
I come to know through feeling, through touch, through intuition, and those are all different ways. I don't really know what to describe it as, so I'm going to call it being fully present, being in the moment with a natural being. And so when you're in the moment with nature, you're taking the time. It's almost like meditation in the sense that you're trying to stop your constant stream of thoughts.
I've started practicing the creative nature connection or painting through my body. It's sort of like writing a journal entry, only instead of all of everything coming from my mind, all of that knowledge coming from my mind, it's something that's been stored in my body. I just let my hands sort of choose the colors and choose what they want to paint. A lot of ways of knowing outside the scientific or modern Western way of looking at things look at relationships and interconnectedness and interrelatedness rather than distinct parts.
If we want to build a sustainable future, we also need the intuitive, emotional part of knowing, and this part needs to be respected. We need the intuition that has always been hiding in our scientific work and thinking, and that has been used as an understanding approach by other cultures for centuries now.
So one of the things that engaging multiple ways of knowing does for students is it helps them look at the complexity of things through many different lenses. The importance of this work in the context of education is that it addresses issues not only of social justice, but also of environmental sustainability. Because we need all these knowledge systems. We need all these ways of knowing. We need all of our human capacities, whether they're ones that we currently teach or ones that we haven't even thought to teach yet. They're all essential. And we can't afford to marginalize some over others. And we can't afford to marginalize the peoples who hold some of these knowledge systems any longer.